Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Razovy, and today we're going to talk about a show, an anime with a very long title. I'm going to only say it once, then I'm going to just shorten the title if you're okay with that. In Japanese, it is 私がモテないのはどう考えてもお前らが悪い. Now, in the short version is WataMote, and I'm going to say that from now on if you don't mind. It translates something back into English, something like, no matter how I look at it, it's you guys' fault that I'm not popular, something of the sort, right? And this is basically, I remember this very clearly. This is the second anime I ever watched. My first anime was Death Note, and the second anime I ever watched was Watamote. And I remember being like, it was something that I never experienced before, this kind of show. I remember watching this and thinking, wow, this kind of sort of was, this is kind of like the epitome of how most teenagers feel at at the high school age. I think it's a very interesting show, and it's not the best I've ever seen. It's not in my favorite list or something, but it has always stuck around in my mind, and I remember every episode very clearly. It's a very fun show, especially if I think that if you haven't reached puberty yet, it's not that fun to watch. I don't think you'll get it, but during or after puberty, this show will hit you in, and you will laugh, and you will recognize many things that about this anime for sure. I really do believe that to be the case. So what is Watamote? Well, it's actually about this girl. It's the concept. Truly, the premise is very simple. It's about Tomoko, and Tomoko is basically a shut-in. She doesn't really interact with people. She's having a tough time in her puberty phase, so to speak, just like we all do. But for her, it seems like it's 10 times worse. Sometimes it's like it's really horrible. And Tomoko gets in embarrassing situations basically every single day, and it's because she just doesn't know how to deal with other people. She just doesn't understand. She doesn't know how to interact with people, how to get, how to become popular, how to and something that she also really wants is to get a boyfriend basically. And she wants to become popular and just basically become normal and just like the people around her. That's kind of like the premise of the story. But the actual show, the actual the actual episodes, is basically just her sitting in a room thinking up all these schemes of how she might get popular, or how she will eventually do that. But you have to imagine that the things that she comes up with, they actually sound quite logical. And she's like, oh, I'm gonna talk to this person, and I'm gonna do this and that. But then you have to remember that she doesn't come out of her room. And when she's at school, she doesn't interact with anybody because she doesn't know how, and she's afraid. So she thinks of all of these schemes, and they seem logical, but it isn't logical for her because she doesn't know how to apply any of it. And that is what makes this show so fun. Now, she also has a brother. He's called Tomoki, and he's kind of the same. He's not very popular either, but there's a difference. Her brother doesn't care. She cares. She cares about the fact that she's not popular. She cares about the fact that she doesn't know how to interact with other people. Her brother doesn't care at all. But he's kind of the same. Like he's very similar when it comes to interacting with other people, but he doesn't care. Now, something that I really liked about this show as well is that Tomoko, she has one friend basically, and her friend is called Yu. And Yu actually used to be the same as her. They were not popular. They were just kind of like the quiet kids, and they got along because of the fact that they were the quiet kids. And then after a couple of years, she decides to contact you again because they kind of lost touch after they went to the like separate, I believe, separate middle schools or separate high schools. I forgot. They lost touch, and now she decides to call you again, to see how you is doing, and also to kind of feel better about herself because she knows that you is the same as her, so she won't have made any progress in life either. At least that's the way that she thinks life should work in the first place. So she meets you, but it turns out that she changed completely. Like she is actually a very popular girl now. She's actually also very pretty now, and something that they both were in at a couple of years before. And this actually makes her feel worse because she sees that, oh, so change can happen. It just didn't happen to me. So everything that happens in Tomoko's life is kind of like a downer for her. But for us, it's very funny. It's like it's a very comedy heavy show, but not in the way that you're used to. It's not a gag comedy. It's not something that oh, this is the punchline, right? That's not how this anime works. We we basically laugh at the misery of Tomoko, and it sounds very mean, but that is the whole purpose of this show, and it works. It's a very, very funny show. Truly, it is. Now, it's also slice of life, but that makes sense because I haven't talked about isekai plot lines or other worlds or anything. It's just her normal life. So it is a slice of life anime. If that doesn't speak to you, fair enough. But I think that even if you're not into slice of life, if you are currently going through puberty or if you have gone through puberty, I think that this anime is incredibly funny, no matter what kind of genre you're into. No, even if it's slice of life, I think you will really like this. At least the first look. Maybe not every episode, maybe not everything will click with you, but I think especially the first couple of episodes, I think you will like it for real. Even if you're not into slice of life, even if you're not into comedy, this will click with you in some way or form. I truly believe that to be the case. And even if it isn't, well, you just watched like 3 episodes. That's not even 1.5 hours. So, it's not that bad. Now, there's also other themes. For example, there's also like, how should I put it, like LGBTQ plus themes in this anime as well. It's actually, this anime comes from 2013. And it's actually, at that time, this, especially in Japan, this wasn't really a thing. So it was kind of ahead on certain in certain places. But then again, this anime was not popular whatsoever, especially not in the West. So it never really got any credit for doing things differently in that sense. Now, of course, there's also a manga of this show. I'll be honest with you, I am not sure if this anime like if the manga is translated into English. I read this manga in Japanese, so I don't know if there's an English version. I'm assuming there is. I'm assuming that there is in fact an English version, but I don't know. Looking, I currently have AnyList open on my here in front of me, and it says series English name. No matter how I look at it, it's you guys' fault that I'm not popular. So it seems like the anime or the manga also is an English version. I'll just link to it, or like if there's a physical edition or something, I'll just link to it so that you can purchase it if you would like to. But I didn't even know. Like I read it in Japanese. I had no clue. The manga, by the way, is when it comes to the art style, is very different from the anime. Like if you want pretty art, look at the anime. Like watch the anime. Don't read the manga. There's a big difference there for sure. But yeah, so it's not the biggest deal though. Like if you're more into story than visuals, then the manga is perfectly fine. So, ladies and gentlemen, how like have you watched WataMote? Is it something that speaks to you if you haven't watched it yet? Because for me, when I first read the title like years ago, and I read the synopsis, I was like, yes, this is an anime for me, right? But maybe for you, it not now that I told you about, maybe it doesn't click at all, or maybe it did. I'm very curious to hear what you guys think and how you guys feel about this anime. So make sure to put that in the comment section. And yeah, just thank you very much for watching. I was Razovy. You were you, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.